"If you don't start singing, I'll tie you up," the mother hissed, a woman who wouldn't take no for an answer. "Come on, go." The little girl was fighting exhaustion with everything she had. Her eyes kept drooping, her whole body begging for sleep. But the crowd wanted a show, and she had to give them one. The club was thick with a haze of cigarette smoke that made it hard to breathe, but Frances pushed through that too. Shrugging her shoulders in a jerky little movement and shaking her curled ringlets, she launched into a bright, bubbly number, doing her best not to let anyone down. That was how she spent half the night, with 6 more grueling performances still ahead of her. Childhood was slipping through her fingers, leaving nothing behind but the jingle of coins. The little girl went simply by Baby. She was the youngest in a family of traveling performers. Her parents, Ethel and Frank Gumm, dreamed of stardom and had their children immersed in show business from the earliest age. Frances, born in 1922, was no exception. She was memorizing poems and songs almost as soon as she learned to walk. At 2.5, in a clear little voice, she sang Jingle Bells on a Christmas stage, charming the audience to tears. People dabbed at their eyes, moved by the sight of the pretty little girls up there, especially this one with her curls. The family crisscrossed America, never staying anywhere long. The reason was Frank, who kept landing in trouble because of a side of himself he could never quite manage to hide. He couldn't keep away from young men, and the moment word got out, the Gumms would have to pack their bags and leave in a hurry. It sent Ethel into a rage. There was no love or tenderness in Judy's parents' marriage. Mrs. Gumm had married for practical reasons, and her husband had disturbing tendencies of his own. After rumors spread across Minnesota about Mr. Gumm's improper conduct with children, the family moved to California, and the name Gumm was changed to Garland. Over time, it became clear that the real talent in the family belonged to the youngest one, Baby. Ethel decided to squeeze every bit of value out of that gift. Frances's schooling became little more than a formality. The performance was what mattered. Her mother dragged her from one nightclub to the next, where the girls sang and danced through clouds of tobacco smoke. And if Frances got tired or started to fuss, her mother didn't hesitate to use force. "I learned to dance," Frances would later write once she was grown. "I rehearsed, and in the evening I went out on stage. I performed before movie screenings, even the ones that started very late. To keep me from wearing out, my mother gave me pills." The Gumm Sisters, that was the name given to the small act that included Frances and her 2 older sisters. Their tours did well. They turned up in a handful of low-budget films, and one day fate brought them to Chicago. There they crossed paths with the actor George Jessel, who suggested they change up their image. "Gumm is much too flat a name for a girl with your spark," he told Frances. "You need a stage name. What about Garland, like a garland of flowers? And you need a new first name, too." Frances chose the name Judy. From then on, her name appeared on the marquees differently. Judy Garland, a girl whose childhood had been stolen from her. A year later, the group broke up. One of the sisters got married and decided she was done with the endless touring and the unstable life it demanded. But in 1935, something extraordinary happened. A talent scout from Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer noticed Judy and offered her a contract. A 13-year-old girl was about to land her first major role. "What is this, some kind of little hunchback?" Louis Mayer sneered. The petite, new girl shrank with embarrassment, hunching her shoulders. Then came a whole list of demands. If she wanted to be an actress, she needed to lose weight immediately, get her bite corrected, wear discs to reshape her nose. Standing behind Judy, her mother chimed in eagerly, "Yes, yes, we'll do whatever it takes." Judy's diet was cut down drastically. She was allowed to eat only once a day, a bowl of thin soup and a salad. But that wasn't enough on its own. To speed things along, they gave her cigarettes, 2 packs a day, fully approved by her mother. The studio wasn't shy about its methods either, supplying the young actress with substances meant to boost her stamina. Under their effect, Judy turned into a tireless mechanical performer. Filming started at dawn and stretched well past midnight. Only a body artificially kept wired could survive a schedule like that. Judy was offered the lead role in The Wizard of Oz. She'd collapse from exhaustion right there on set, but the result was worth it. The film won her an Oscar. Her father, though, never lived to see it. He died in 1935. Her mother, on the other hand, happily basked in her daughter's success, while remaining just as strict a taskmaster as ever. Even after Judy married at 19, her mother never missed a chance to tell her what to do. Worn down by the cruelty of the people closest to her and by the studio executives, Judy Garland married, hoping to find some comfort in the arms of musician David Rose.
"No, child," her mother snapped when she found out Judy was pregnant. "You have a career. You're a star." Head bowed in obedience, Judy went to the clinic. It was a decision she would regret for the rest of her life.
Rose never forgave his wife for it, and the couple split. In 1945, Judy married again, this time to director Vincente Minnelli. Their union gave the world another star, Liza Minnelli, a name everyone knows today. From Judy, Liza inherited not just her striking looks, but an extraordinary acting talent and a powerful voice. Judy kept singing her whole life. She didn't just act in films, she filled some of them with her deeply felt songs, leaving a lasting mark on the world of music and film. Having a child didn't bring the couple closer together. The actress's severe drug dependency and volatile temper put a strain on the marriage. The second marriage didn't work out either, and 6 years later came the divorce. On paper, the split was Vincente's fault. Judy had once come home unexpectedly and found her husband in the bedroom with another man. She ran to the bathroom and tried to leave for good, but Minnelli stopped her in time. It seemed as if Judy was desperately searching for something solid to hold on to. She married again almost immediately, this time to producer Sid Luff. That coincided with the start of filming for Summer Stock, during which Judy's health problems began. The years spent at the studio had left Judy dependent on pills. Every day started with her hand reaching automatically for the bottle, and to fall asleep there was another bottle waiting. "The studio system stole my youth and my health," Garland admitted bitterly. When she tried to break free of that dependency, a different one took its place, food, and she put on a noticeable amount of weight. The director, blunt to the point of rudeness, demanded she get back into shape, and within months Judy had lost 20 kilograms. She was a nervous wreck. Her third husband, to whom she gave 2 children, Lorna and Joey, turned out to be a difficult man with problems of his own. Their home was rocked by constant fights. Sid would scream at Judy and threaten to take the children away. And sometimes he'd get so wildly drunk and start such chaos that Judy would grab the girls and their son and go spend the night in a hotel. 3 times Judy filed for divorce, and 3 times Sid came back, talking her into staying. He'd show up with flowers, jewelry, and long, remorseful speeches, and getting back together always felt like magic. But in 1965, worn down by the constant strain, Judy finally decided to put an end to the marriage for good. By then, Judy had all but made films. The daughter. From the moment she was born, Liza's path was already laid out for her. Her parents, both Oscar winners, director Vincent Minnelli and actress Judy Garland, passed down to her an acting legacy stretching back to the 18th century. Liza would later recall, "It's in my blood. I was raised for this, like a thoroughbred bred for the racetrack." By the age of 3, she was already standing on a film set beside her mother, and from then on she couldn't imagine any other life. She looked remarkably like her mother, and the two of them adored each other, but their relationship was strange and painful at the same time. Once her daughter was born, the world stopped revolving around the Hollywood star. Judy no longer felt the constant adoration she'd grown used to since the age of 13, ever since she'd played the lead in The Wizard of Oz. Setbacks started piling up. Postpartum depression grew into a genuine psychiatric disorder. The smallest thing could send her into a rage, and she'd smash furniture and dishes, even trying twice to set fire to her own house. Liza would later say of her mother, "Life with that woman was like something out of theater of the absurd. I went through a crash course in growing up. I learned too much, too fast, and much too soon." Judy's mornings began with amphetamines, and her evenings ended with barbiturates. When Liza was 4, her parents divorced. Not long after, her mother remarried and had 2 more children. The responsibility of looking after them fell onto Liza's shoulders. By the age of 12, the girl had learned how to hide the pills, how to listen for sounds coming from the bathroom, and how to always be ready to call an ambulance. Judy Garland's already strained relationship with her daughter was made worse by an open rivalry between them. During one concert, Judy shoved her daughter off the stage and tried to out-sing her. When that attempt fell flat, she made a show of drinking right in front of her daughter while Liza was performing. And yet, Liza Minnelli was devastated by her mother's death. On the day of the funeral, out of her mind with grief, she took a sedative, a decision she would later believe was the start of her own dependency on tranquilizers. The end of Judith. She found a new life on the Broadway stage where her performances were met with tremendous success. Judy even hosted her own show and often shared the stage with her daughter Liza, who by then was drawing standing ovations of her own. When she was offered a tour of Australia, she went with hopes of a triumphant return, but the trip didn't live up to her expectations. In Sydney, she was greeted with real enthusiasm, the venues packed, but in Melbourne, something went wrong. "She can barely stand," audience members whispered, watching her on stage. It ended in boos and jeers, and Judy had to leave the hall in a hurry. Before long, she married again, this time to Mark Herron. They tied the knot aboard a cargo ship, but the marriage lasted only a year. Her last attempt at finding happiness in marriage came on March 15, 1969, when Judy married Mickey Deans, who became her 5th husband. By that point, though, the people close to her had started reacting with a kind of weary irony. "Judy's getting married again," friends and family would say. "Again?" Then, on June 22, that same Mickey found Judy lifeless in the bathroom. The official cause was ruled to be an accidental misuse of medication, the same explanation that would later be given for Marilyn Monroe's death. But her widower placed the blame squarely on Sid Luff, claiming he was the one who had driven Judy to that point. The two of them had had a huge fight not long before. She had her childhood taken from her, and she carried that pain her whole life, Liza Minnelli said. My mother never had enough warmth or love in her life. Only those who have something solid to hold on to can make it through hardship.